Morning! We've just parked up at Lanthwaite Green near Crummock Water. We're going to head up Grasmoor, but we're going to head up a different way than usual. We're going to head up from Gasgale Gill up Crags Ridge, which could be interesting. It's a very steep ascent. I've done it years ago, but I do remember it being painfully steep. So yeah, on approaching the bottom of Grasmoor, we keep to the right of Gasgale Gill and head up in the direction of Grasmoor, where we're going to find a traverse path up here that'll run about 50 metres up from the gill through heather, just a very narrow traverse path. You can maybe see it just on the side of the hill up there. So we're going to head up there, probably about 3/4 of a mile, where we're going to steeply head up the side of Crags Ridge. So from the bottom of Grasmoor to the left, this is that traverse path. Bit lumpy bumpy, runs us all the way down Gasgale Gill if you wanted to do the entire length of the gill up till the Caldale Hawes. But like I said, so far up here we'll be taking a right and heading up the hill. So that's Gasgale Gill to the left of me now, panning out of the gill across them beautiful western fells. It's a beautiful morning, Easter Saturday, so we've set off early. It's about 7:30 now. Hopefully we'll beat the crowds onto Grasmoor. As you can see, the traverse path is very exposed. It's steep down that side. There's quite a lot of scree shoots coming down from it to cross. The path itself is only about 12 inches wide through the heather. The first time I did this a few years ago, I didn't use sticks and it was absolutely horrible. The sticks have made it a lot easier. The path across the gill to the left of me on the flanks of Whiteside Edge is the path most people used to go up Gasgale Gill. That's the path you would usually come down if you were coming down from the Caldale Hawes. In all honesty, that's not a very nice path either. Goes all the way down to a little bridge and crosses the river back to where we were parked. So we're actually about a mile up the gill. I said 3/4 of a mile, so it wasn't too far out. This in front of me is the ridge of Dove Crags. Wainwright does have a route in his book which I'll put reference to. I can't see any paths or anything through this heather. When I did it, I actually walked right round the shoulder of the ridge and kind of went a bit more direct up grass. I also went up from the point of a big boulder on the path, which I'm sure is up here somewhere if I remember. What I'll do is I'll keep looking out and I'll find my easiest way up. In fact, just there in front of me looks an easier ascent. It's all steep, there's nothing not steep about it, but that looks like it could lead me onto the ridge just there, and it looks more or less where Wainwright's path goes up, avoiding too much of the heather. So I might give that a go. I'll stop for 5 minutes and have a look and weigh the situation up. Yep, I'm going to try that way. As you can see, there's a very broad rake missing most of the worst of the heather, which takes you up there onto the ridge which is here. I've looked at the map, it does take me directly to the ridge and there's no rocks or crags in the way, so we're just going to plod away up there. Should get some great views once we get out of this gill. So yeah, let's head up. Just remember one thing, there's no path on the map, so don't be going looking for path on the map. And as you know, if there's none on the map, the one on the ground, if there is one, will be very hard to find as well. I'm sure once we get more or less on the ridge we might come up with something up there, but I don't think there'll be a lot. That's Whiteside Edge, sun reflecting off it, absolutely beautiful, leading you to eventually Hope Gill Head. I'm almost certain that I'm on the route Wainwright plots in his book. I do believe a long time ago Alfred Wainwright himself walked up Gasgale Gill looking up at Grasmoor through all that heather, trying to find a way up onto the ridge, and I believe he must have found this broad grassy rake and done exactly what I'm doing. A better option than the way I took 7 years ago, where I went directly up the front of the ridge. That was steeper. This is steep enough, but somewhere up there, not far away, is that ridge. We're going to pop straight onto it, onto the route that I left from my last GPX track, and hopefully into the sunshine. And look at this, Absolutely stunning. The sun's shining up there like I thought. That's Dove Crags up there, and we're almost on the crest of the ridge. Beautiful. I mean, how many people bagging Wainwrights probably do Grasmoor and think what a big lump of a hill it is. I'm going to top out on the crest of this ridge any minute now. The sun's going to blind me. Here's the sun. Wow. And that is the crest of the ridge. And that's the ridge we're going to go up onto the summit of Grasmoor. I've just left the ridge for 10 minutes just to explore this big basin like flat area. There's Dove Crags up there, massive big cleft in the rock there. This big basin here, Wainwright talks about. He couldn't believe there was no tarn here. With it being so flat, and it actually drops down in the centre there. It's lower than the edges. Just must be the geology of the rock, I guess. It must just run straight through there. But yeah, you would expect to see a tarn. So that's the ridge there. I just left it there, came over here for 5 minutes. So here we go, up onto the ridge, to the summit of Grasmoor. So I'm at Dove Crags now, almost at the top, and I've hit these big rocks. I'm almost certain you'd probably be able to scramble through there, but I'm going to go well right this way and hopefully make it a little bit easier for Billy. So I've just gone right. I think you could actually keep going further right and probably end up back on the grass and then head up onto the summit that way. But as it's nice and dry, these rocks aren't pitched too steeply, so we're gonna just scramble up through these. It's nice and dry, so I wouldn't really want to go up them if it was wet, but it's a great day today, so we'll have a crack at it. So them slabs were fine, there was plenty of holes to get your feet in, but as I say, you could have gone past them, and as you can see, you're back on that grassy sphagnum moss, so you would have got up easier there. So we're above the rocks now, and what looks like a home straight up to the summit plateau. This is that big cleft in the rock that I showed you from down at the bottom of the ridge. It runs right up to the top. We don't need to worry about that or these crags in front of us here, because once again we're going to keep well right and go around them. Yeah, so if you'd wanted to avoid any rocks or crags that's below that crag down there, you could have gone right or left of me from standing here, all the way across there and back up here to where I'm at now. So that's that big cleft. We're now at the head of it, that gill. If you ever find yourself anywhere near there or in there, you really aren't in the right place. You're in trouble, in fact. We're almost gonna top out here onto Grasmoor's summit plateau. I absolutely loved that. It was really enjoyable. The route I took initially from Gasgale Gill, which I believe was Wainwright's route, onto the ridge, was much easier than heading up the very front of the ridge, which I did 7 years ago. It was a lot steeper. Don't get me wrong, the whole route's steep. The ridge is steep and the ground below the ridge is steep, so yeah, there's not much in the ways of paths, but there is sketchy bits of path. Doesn't get walked very often, but it's a fabulous route. Really enjoyed it. Almost at the summit plateau now, so I'll give you the spin round and we'll have a look what we've got. That's the view west with Water and the Solway Firth. It's a little bit hazy over there today. Panning round in the far distance you've got Criffel in Scotland. You can maybe just see it on the camera. In the foreground here, the other side of Gasgale Gill, we've got Whiteside and Whiteside Edge leading on to Hope Gill Head. In the far distance beyond Hope Gill Head we've got Skidder, and then to the right of Skidder we've got Blencathra. Panning round we've got Great Melfell and Little Melfell, and then over there we've got Crag Hill, and then back round in the foreground here Dove Crags, and behind me the summit plateau of Grasmoor. From the summit of Grasmoor, our descent's going to be down another ridge which drops us close by Buttermere and Crummock Water. Ladow's, big long sweeping steep ridge down into Ranadale. Summit, 852 metres. It's Wainwright, Burkitt, Marilyn, Hewitt and a Nuttall. So from the summit we're going to head east, and then we're going to turn south and head off down via Ladow's, which is this ridge down here below me. The big ridge behind Ladow's is Whiteless Pike, where me and Tracy were a couple of weeks ago. We just dropped down off the summit plateau a little bit to get some views. So there you are, that's Ladow's going down there, all the way to Crummock Water. Ranadale Knott's down there, Melbreck over there behind Crummock Water, all your Buttermere Fells, Robinson, Hinescarth, Dalehead, Crag Hill, Eel Crag. Ladow's heading directly south towards Crummock Water. So that's us almost down Grasmoor. The ridge of Ladow's almost drops you straight into Cinderdale, which is that little car park down there. Bill is desperately wanting to get in the gill for a drink. I don't blame him, it's really warm now. So from the bottom we have a choice. There's a footpath runs along the side of the road, but the road's a bit busy and Billy absolutely hates traffic, so we're not doing that. We could drop down onto the lake shore. That's probably going to be a bit busy too, so there is a path runs higher up, just round this corner, that kind of hugs the flanks of Grasmoor a bit and takes us back to Lanthwaite Green where we're parked, which is about a mile and a half away. So we'll stick to that path after Billy's had a bit drink. He's down there, he's already there, look. There he is, the rock star, absolutely gagging for a drink. Is that good? Is that nice? Yeah, so from the bottom of the hill, we're not going to walk into Cinderdale car park. We're going to take a right. We're going to cross the gill here. And we're going to follow this path a little bit higher up off the roadside, which you can see is very busy. Bracken's still down, will be for another couple of months yet. So yeah, about a mile or so we should be back at the car. I'm going to wrap my video up down here. Say thank you for watching. If you're new to my channel, please think about subscribing. If you've already subscribed, thank you very much for the support and all the great comments and feedback. Very much appreciated. Yeah, until next time.